So while we wait for the Montgomery Machines Factory to increase its production and shipment and eventually level up, we need to start bringing more food into the little trinity of cities that we have going on here. Montgomery has some coming in, which is great. Oklahoma has some coming in, which in this case isn't good because it's nowhere near enough. And then Huntsville has none coming in, which isn't good when you consider that there is a food processing plant right next to Huntsville. So we might want to do something about that. Both Oklahoma and Montgomery are getting food from this little plant. And so my thinking is that we should probably use this little plant to bring some food into Huntsville itself. So let's go ahead and create a new line. I'm not really too concerned with what platform it goes to, although I'd kind of like it to go to the 5th one. So I am a little bit concerned about it. And we're just going to bring this down to here, essentially. And it's going to go back out and do its thing. It is going to be very simply road cargo. It is Huntsville, and it's going to be food delivery. And that's about it. That's all it needs to be. It's really, really quite simple for old Huntsville here. I also don't know what color the lines are supposed to be for Huntsville. I'm not really too worried about that. I guess we'll go with this color right about here. And we'll get ourselves a truck or two to manage this whole thing. Now, looking at it, food is going to be brought in via whatever, a box truck. I'm not really too concerned about a color for them. We'll just go for this, and it's going to be road cargo. It is going to be hunts, and it is going to be food delivery. And that should set everything up really nicely for us. We probably want to make sure that it's only moving food from Huntsville north. So if we go in here and set this up properly, it is only moving food from there. It'll drop everything off automatically, and that's going to be some food coming into Huntsville, which is great. We've obviously got all the grain coming up from down here. Production is admittedly only 300 right now, and the rate on this line is 130. So let's change out some vehicles, because these tipper trucks can carry 35. That'll bring us up to 182. Let me duplicate those vehicles to bring us up closer to 400. Should be about 365, which is completely fine as well. And the idea is that this thing is producing 300. Once we ship more, this will level up and produce 600, which means that this guy will then be able to make a whole bunch more food, which is great. And that's essentially the goal. That was my goal for this entire episode, was to get more food into all of these cities. Now, obviously, that's not the entire episode. All right. That's not the only thing we're doing today, because I want to make the food production a little bit better. And I've been looking around and trying to think, you know, what can I do? How can I improve food production around here? And there's a few options that we have. For example, down here, we have got a whole bunch of grain being produced and thrown onto a, what is this train? It's an old one, isn't it? It's a 52-year-old train. Yeah. Well, that's the Salem food production line, which is consistent. It's been consistent for 52 years. Whether it's been good is an entirely different matter, but it's been consistent at the very least. It's really not very good. Maybe we get a new train on here. maybe that's what we do. What's the ratio here? So we have, what is it? One of you. So 2 of you to 1 of you, 1 of you to 2 of you. So yeah, this thing, man, I don't know what way to set this train up. I'm going to be honest with you. Let me manage it though. Let's see what we can do with you. It's probably too long for one. So man, this is going to suck. It's going to be a whole thing is what this is going to be. Let me take all of these out of here, because I do think it's reasonable to improve this entire thing. Let's go with you, because we can. And then for cargo, we want to move grain and we want to move the food as well. So grain is going to go in the gondola. And I suppose what we'll do is bring this up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of those. And it's a bit shorter than the last one. I think I'm going to throw another locomotive on at the end of it, just to make sure it's nice and strong. 52 million for that. And we'll paint it a lovely green color, just to be a bit different with it. And we'll see if that's any good. We'll see if that improves things. I have my doubts. I do have my doubts, but honestly, it's a good looking train. It's not a bad looking train. It is also absolutely loaded up on food, so we'll see how that goes. I'm hoping for some good things. I'm hoping it does what I need it to do, but that wasn't my plan coming down here either. What I was thinking was, how can I use this guy, this coffee refinery? And I looked around and I noticed that there is coffee all the way down here. So given that we have better trucks now, my thinking is, well, why don't I use this coffee little farm thing here and then just use the better trucks that we have to bring that coffee up towards this, where is it? It is all the way up here somewhere. So bring it up to here, bring that up to Lexington, and then use this to feed everywhere that needs food, because the production from this is going to be much better. That's my thought process. Whether that's a good thought process, I have no idea. I don't know that I really care, but it's what I'm going to do, because we do have those better trucks, and I do think those better trucks are going to be perfectly fine sort of going cross country a little bit. So that's my plan. That is my plan. That is what I'm going to do. So bring you sort of over like this, I suppose. Let me connect around like that. I don't love that curve, but that's all right. Let me bring you all the way back a little bit, bring you all the way back a little bit, maybe a little bit further, and then curve this up that way. And I don't love that either. Let's bring this straight down. I don't need these roads to be perfect. There's really absolutely no reason I'm making them perfect, but it's just me. It's just sort of what I do. It's how I play these games. I like my roads to have really nice curves to them and things like that. So I don't do it in City Skylines. We all know that, right? Me and curved roads and City Skylines are not a, yeah, we don't see eye to eye. There's reasons for that though, to be fair. People are always like, well, why don't you do curves in cities? Because it's not efficient. That's genuinely the answer. That's because the game is built on like all of the lots and zoning, it's all grid based, and it doesn't fill in nicely if you don't build it on a grid. So I just build stuff on a grid. Admittedly, with Cities 2, I haven't played it in months, by the way, but at the time, there weren't really all that many mods that would let you fill those gaps in. There are now, which I'm well aware of. So when I get back around to playing it, it is a when, by the way, it's not an if, but when I get around to playing it again, then I'm sure I'll probably do more curves and things like that. But it just, honestly, it just reminds me of like the one major thing I miss from SimCity 2013, which was the zoning. The fact that you could just zone on curves and things like that was really cool, and it worked really nicely, but that's neither here nor there. Now, how am I going to connect this all around? So I need to go up to here is what I need to do. So that says to me that it might be a really good idea for me to do some kind of little road that goes around this town. So I'm going to connect these roads. Am I going to connect these roads together? I suppose I probably should. We'll do something like this. This is, what town is this? Everett? Yeah. Okay. I think we'll do this. So it kind of goes along the edge of town just a little bit. We can connect some of these existing roads down to this new road, which I am also okay with. And I think this will just sort of connect into this road over here and maybe just push straight through. Maybe this is going to be like a little, not a highway, but like a little interstate kind of thing. I don't really know. We'll bring it up to here and we'll sort of just push it straight towards where I want it to go, which is squarely up there. Okay, so with all of the road work now done and with some depots in here as well, I kind of have a choice to make, and that's whether or not I'm going to do one big line or two smaller lines for this entire thing. And I guess my decision should be influenced by the vehicles that I have available. So if we go and take a look at a vehicle garage, which I have right about here, what are my options? So the box truck will take anything. The stake truck will take just this stuff. Basically, I'm going to be using the box truck for the entire thing, is what I'm realizing. So I'm wondering whether or not it would be better to try and set up a line of box trucks, because this guy, I'm assuming, will get up to 600. So get a bunch of box trucks that will move 600 coffee berries up to this guy, who will eventually turn that into 300 coffee beans. And then we can have a line set up to move 300 coffee beans per year up to this guy, where it will be turned into 600 food. And then we can split that 600 food, 200 that way, 200 that way, and 200 that way. I think that is what we're going to do. So in terms of lines, we will set this thing up from here. This is Everett's sidings up to this guy. And we will do, so it comes into you, it goes to 1, it goes to 2, and it goes to 3. And then at Everett's sidings, we'll do 1, 2, and 3 as well, just because we can. And I think we'll set this up as road cargo. We will say Everett, and we will say coffee, I guess, berries to beans is what we'll call it. I'm going to copy and paste that as well. And then these lines, have we got any red down here? Not really. Let's do blue anyway, just to be a little bit different. So that'll be line setup number 1. And I guess the drop-off point here is going to be, I mean, I guess we can do 1, 2, and 3, right? It's not really that big of a deal. For line number 2, it is going to be from here, and it's going, I guess, hopefully onto this this highway here, which is exactly what it's doing. So we'll get this set up. It is going to be, we'll call this Everett as well. We'll say this is coffee beans to food, even though it's not really anywhere near Everett. It just keeps them nicely together. And we'll set that up as blue as well. And then for down this way, it is going to be platform 4 and 5 and 6. And I want to set this up so it's only loading up the things that I want it to load up, which is the coffee beans. And that should be fine. So that should mean that line works really nicely. Up this way, we are going to say that you come in and you are going to go to platform 6, 5, and 4. And then these 3 platforms are going to be for deliveries out to the different locations around the map, which is completely fine. So that's pretty much set up the way I'd want it to be. I just want to make sure that the beans to, not the beans to food line, but the berries to beans line is set up properly as well. So down in Everett, I need you to only load up on coffee berries, and that will keep everything under control there as well. So now what we can do is we can highlight this line. We'll pin it for now. And it might be overkill to put enough vehicles on this immediately to give it the rate of 600 that we're looking for, but I'm curious to see what exactly we can do with these box trucks. So give me 5 of them, and let's make them a nice sort of deep reddish color. And we'll put those on the Everett coffee berries to beans line, which gives us 124. That's not great, but it is a bit of a distance that they have to cover, right? Yeah, it is definitely a bit of a distance. So I would imagine that'll get a little bit better. I think just for now, let me duplicate the number of vehicles. I don't love having to do that, but honestly, 249, 250, that's completely fine. So that means that we're looking for 125 on the beans to food line. So if we look at the beans to food line right here, we can come back down this way. We can buy some vehicles. We'll go and get another 5 box trucks. We'll paint those up in a nice sort of, we'll go for this color is what we'll go for. And that is going to be coffee beans to food right there, which is a rate of 163, which is actually better than I was expecting. But honestly, I'm okay with that. It's not perfect, but it will do the job. We have the berries production going on already. We will have the beans production in no time at all. And then I guess what we can do, I mean, this thing's going to be producing just fine. This guy will eventually level up once we start bringing some of the food down into Huntsville. So this is actually all right. I just really want to get this going so that I can start bringing more food into the different towns. Oh, what's going on here? I don't like the traffic's getting stuck around. What is this little road layout as well? Hold on a minute. As much as I don't like getting rid of all those buildings, that was a really, really awful road layout. Let me just do this. And you know what? I might upgrade this main road coming through here. It's going to get rid of quite a few buildings, I think, but I think it's going to be worth it, because what I can do is I can just put some bus lanes on there, and that'll keep us pretty good. So we'll go into tools. This entire thing is going to get some bus lanes the entire way through the middle of Huntsville. And that is going to make it a little bit easier for my guys to get around. And I think this road as well, honestly. Let's, do I want to upgrade it all the way up to there? I think I do. Just this entire sort of middle section of Huntsville, we're just going to massively expand that road and get ourselves some bus lanes in there. Not that I think I urgently need them, but I do think it's going to be helpful for any of my vehicles going back and forth to just not get stuck in traffic. That's kind of the goal here. Now, something I do want to do with Huntsville is get this guy right in here, and I want to set that up as our first delivery point from this new food processing plant. So if we go in and create a new line, it is going to go from platform 1, and it is going to go all the way into Huntsville. Now, this is a pretty nicely placed depot. It's hopefully going to keep us pretty good, and we'll set this up, I guess, as it is a Lexington line. I think that's fair. And we'll say it is Huntsville food delivery. I guess, you know what, we'll do this properly. It's just food to Huntsville is what we'll call that. And we'll make it we have red lines coming through here already. We have yellow. We have, let's do orange, I suppose, for that one. Actually, no, let's just make it green, I suppose. Since it's in a category between Kansas and McAllen, it's yellow and blue. We'll do green in there just so it's pretty good looking. Let's make sure that up here in Lexington, the only thing you are loading up on is going to be food, and we'll get that going in hopefully no time at all. And then I guess for Oklahoma, it's going to be slightly more complicated because a lot of Oklahoma happens to want food. A lot of Oklahoma happens to want food. Good Lord. Let's figure this out. Let's do a little stop down here. I think that's fair enough. I would like to avoid doing stops on this road. That would be kind of ideal. So what about there? And I think there might be good. That's not a crazy busy road. So stop right there, and maybe stop in there. That might be the way to go for it, although we do need some food over this way as well. I think for now, I'm just gonna sort of limit myself a little bit. Yeah, it's gonna be a mess is what this is gonna be, but we'll figure it out. Let's just get that going for now. So new line is gonna go again from here on platform 2, and that is gonna come all the way down to right about here. So it loops down through the middle of this. I don't want it to do that. I also don't like that it's going right through the middle of Huntsville. That doesn't make me all that happy, to be quite honest with you. But if it is going to go through the middle of Huntsville, maybe it should use the highway, is what it should do. So it comes down here, and then it goes all the way down there. So it is hitting the highway, I think. And then on the way, well, no, it's not the way back yet. It hits here, it goes here. I kind of want it to go in there. Is my thinking. I don't know if that's the right call or not. It might be a little bit chaotic for traffic in there, but we'll figure it out. And then it's going to come out. It's going to hit the highway again, which it is doing correctly. It goes all the way up. It loops around there. It goes down and back through Huntsville, which, I mean, Huntsville does now have the bus lanes, so that should be fine. And I guess we'll set this up as road cargo. It is another Lexington line, and it is food to Oklahoma City. I might live to regret sending those trucks through the middle of Huntsville. There is a non-zero chance that I will live to regret that. And then for Montgomery, similar story. Let's see where the food is going to be going in Montgomery. And by the looks of it, it is one little stop right here, which, does that stop happen to have a lot of traffic? No, it does not. But I think that stop could be done a lot more effectively. Admittedly, doing this stop effectively is going to mean getting rid of some buildings, which I really don't want to do, but I think I'm going to have to do. And also, oh, that traffic. I don't know where to put this, actually. This one's gonna suck. Traffic around here kind of, you know what? We'll leave Montgomery out of this for now. You know, thinking about it, I might want to reconsider what I've got going on here. All of these trucks are just going to get stuck in a tremendous amount of traffic, which is not good. Although looking at it, we have some really, really old truck. What are you doing? How old? Wait, how old is this truck? hold on. How old? 99 years old. Okay. 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 Well, yeah, I might want to do something about that. I might want to reconsider what I've got going on with that truck. That is diabolical. Is what do you even do? You're the sand to brick to train line, right? It's this one. So wait, what? Oh wait, no, you're picking up sand from here. You're bringing it over here to turn it into bricks, and then you're bringing it back to the train. Okay. So if I manage vehicles, I don't think there's any one vehicle can do all of that. I think this one will move sand. This one will move bricks. So let's just replace all of you, which brings the rate up to 530, which might be excessive. I don't know what we have going on down here, to be quite honest with you, but that's still not really going to solve my problem. What might solve my problem is swapping some of this out for a larger country road. It doesn't all need to be a large country road, but I think some of it could definitely be a slightly larger country road, at least up to there. And then I can be cheeky and do my usual trick of getting some bus lines on there. And that means that my trucks can filter over into the lanes where the traffic isn't and continue straight through. And then I guess for the rest of the intersection, maybe the same thing. Can I fit this? I can't fit the entire upgrade in there, but I can do this, which I think seems a little bit reasonable. We'll just give my vehicles some dedicated turning lanes, and the rest of them can just, you know, wait. And it does seem like it's working. You know, these trucks are heading out, which is great news. It means my trucks aren't going to be stuck in traffic much on the way back. They will be a little bit, but not all that much, which is completely fine. And so hopefully we are going to see this entire thing come together in the not too distant future. Looking at this at the minute though, it is 249 with a bunch of trucks. Although it also looks like a bunch of my trucks have, yeah, some of them have gotten ahead, which is good. I think. Wait, who are you guys? Wait, what is, oh my God. How old is this? How old is this truck? 60? Oy, okay. Well, that's not good either. What are you doing? Salem fuel delivery? Oh man. Oh man. Let's manage those vehicles. Let me swap out all of you for this. 14 million for that upgrade. Brings it from 103 to still 103, I think, because of the traffic. So the question here is, what is all of this traffic and where is it trying to go? It seems like a lot of it wants to go to the left, which is a little frustrating, but I'm pretty sure I can fix this. Hold on. If I cut out this part and I cut out this entire part and I cut out this part as well, the problem is this little station. Now I'm not going to move the station because that seems like a terrible idea. But what I am going to do is this. So we'll put a new section of road right here. And I'm going to take this right back as well, because I think this is the right call. And I'm just going to try and connect these guys together in a way that doesn't look terrible, which that does. Let's, you know, let's figure this out. Let me just bring a tiny little section of road out here. And can I be so bold as to get that to work? Not quite. Okay. If I bring this forward to this spot, it does lower down. If I raise that up slightly, I can get it to kind of be in line with the tracks, which is good. And then hopefully I can be cheeky and get those to connect. There's kind of what I'm looking for. It's not pretty, but it will do the job. And that's kind of all I need it to do. As for these guys, I don't love that. I'm not going to lie. Not a huge fan of what's going on there. So let me bring this out in as much of a straight line as I possibly can. We might want to lower that down though, because that's not quite what I'm looking for. So something like that should do the job. And then I'm kind of wondering, can I get these guys to connect together in a way that's going to be a little bit more pleasing to the eye? And again, the answer's sort of not really, but it's going to have to do the job. Let me, this road's not all that busy. So let me just upgrade or downgrade some sections of it. This road as well, I don't know if it needs to be like that. So we'll do that with it. This road should be fine. And then the rest of this, I'm also going to do some bus lanes on because I think that's kind of important. So let's just see what that does for traffic. Do I want to upgrade this entire section? I think I do. And I think I also want to put bus lanes on that, just so that my trucks aren't getting quite as stuck as they have been. And in other news, it looks like we're finally starting to make some deliveries here, which is very, very exciting. Very happy about that. We've got the berries coming in. We've got the beans waiting to head out. And so it shouldn't be too long until we see that happening. Down this way, traffic is, I don't want to say it's improving. It's maybe a little better, which technically is an improvement, but it definitely could still be better. Also, San Francisco fuel delivery. Let me upgrade you guys to something a little bit more modern as well, so that we're not using those 100-year-old, well, 60 whatever year old trucks that we had going around there. It would be nice to see this all flowing a little bit faster as well. I don't really think we're going to see that happen anytime soon. And it would be nice to see this all clear out. We have a lot of traffic trying to sort of push down through here, and I don't really know what to do about that just yet. Although I almost wonder if I was to be a little bit cheeky and bring some kind of country road out of here, so just straight down to about that point. If I was to then bring a little country road up like this, and then sort of have something that goes between them, a little bit like that. We'll take the ends off of this one. I'm kind of wondering if this will take some of that traffic. Not really 100% sure if it will, but I think it's probably worth a shot. And then maybe that would warrant this being upgraded into a higher density road. I don't know if it needs 6 lanes necessarily, but I think with some bus lanes on there, it definitely could. In fact, I think looking at it realistically, just this should be fine. And it does look like that is taking some of the traffic already, and some of the traffic is quite happy about that. So that's what we're looking for. Let's turn off the traffic lights right about there. Let's turn off the traffic lights right there as well. It'll be all right. And we're going to turn them off up here, as silly as that might be. Probably a really bad idea, actually, to turn off all of these traffic lights, but it's what we're doing. Now, in other very exciting news, we happen to have quite a few machines sitting around ready to go to Oklahoma, to Montgomery, and to Huntsville. Well, last to Huntsville, but you know, they're all kind of keen to get out there anyway. This guy is still not leveled up, which is a little bit unfortunate, but if we look at our consumers, we could probably do with maybe a few more trucks. Not 100% sure if we urgently need them, but I'm going to put one more on the Montgomery line. I think the Oklahoma line, honestly, I'm going to do 2 more. And then, wait, was that that was the Huntsville line. The Montgomery line, honestly, same thing. Just duplicate it, get 1 more in there. And I think just because we're going to stay even with all of them, let's just do 4 per line right there and see how that goes. Might be enough, might not be enough. Regardless, we're seeing machines production, which means that we should start seeing machines get delivered, and we are seeing them get delivered into Montgomery, which is beautiful. Oklahoma is not really seeing any at the minute. It is aiming to go for 5,400 people though, which is amazing news. Huntsville it's not doing all that great, but it'll get there, and that's fine. You know, I was sitting here wondering why we had so many coffee beans just not being delivered, and it turns out all the vehicles for that line, they haven't even reached the depot yet. They've been stuck in traffic this entire time by the looks of it, at least from what I can tell. This one is in traffic, this one is in traffic, this one is also in traffic, this one is also in traffic, and this one is even further back in traffic. So yeah, that's good. That really gives you an idea. Oh. That really gives you an idea of how bad traffic is in San Francisco. Oh man, that's that's really disappointing. I don't know how to fix it either. I really don't. I genuinely don't. And I've looked up. I've been looking up some videos of people playing this, and I don't understand how traffic works in this game, and that's kind of my problem, I think. And I've seen people making these incredible cities. I've seen people that have basically taken I mean, I'm close to kind of doing it, but I've seen people that have taken an area the size of like Montgomery, Oklahoma, Huntsville, and High Point, that entire space, and made it function like one big city. I have no idea. Look, I would love to do that. Genuinely, I think it would be so cool. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. Not gonna happen in a million years of me playing this game. I just don't have the know-how. I don't have the knowledge. I'm not I have no idea. Oh, that's, well, wouldn't want to be in that truck. That's for sure. That's really wouldn't want to be in that truck. Speaking of trains and whatnot though, how are we looking? So this is, what's the rate on this line? 330. What is the rate on this line? Because it feels like production down here, yeah, production down here is still only 600. Shipment is still 400. If we look at you, your shipment is still 100. And I'm assuming that is because you are only just now starting to level up. Okay. Well, that's fine. It is progress. That's what we're looking for. We wanted this thing to level up. It is now doing so. So hopefully that means the machines are getting out to everywhere. Okay, so with this guy leveled up, we should see production increase. Shipment should increase as well, and transport will hopefully get up there as well, which is exactly what we're looking for. If we come all the way down here, this guy is immediately going in with an upgrade as well. That is perfect. That's what we needed. Shouldn't take too long for that to happen, which should then mean that this mine upgrades as well. Once the shipment gets up to 600, we should see this thing level up and start being able to produce up to 1200 silver ore. And so hopefully this can really become a central hub for machines. We actually have a lot of machines waiting to head out to Oklahoma at the moment. So if we could do that, that would be great. Oklahoma happens to want 131 machines at the moment. The machines line can do 135. And is this one of the Oklahoma trucks coming in? It absolutely is. So hopefully we'll get a few more of those up this way, and this thing will just continue to level up. You know, one of my favorite things about this game is that sense of like, you build something, you work on something, and then you kind of have to wait and you move on to work on another thing. And then you sort of go back and check on the first thing. And it's like, oh, it's working. It's leveling up. It's doing things. Like I know that's the basic fundamental premise of the entire game, but it is really satisfying to just have that moment where you're like, oh, let's go check into that thing I did. Oh, look at that. It's doing what I want it to do. I love it. I really do. It's just really, really, I don't know. It's fun. It's, it's a fun game. 26 episodes into the series, I can confidently say it's fun. So I suppose coming back to what we set out to do today, seeing some food getting ready for Oklahoma is great. Seeing some food get ready for Huntsville is also great. I don't suspect this thing is going to level up necessarily anytime soon, because it's going to take a while for everything to come together. Although looking at this thing is actually producing really nicely and could probably stand to have a bit more delivery going on. So the most we can move right now is 200. You're producing 300, but we're shipping 200. We could, yeah, so this is probably fine with where it is right now. I just imagine that some of these trucks are probably getting stuck in traffic on the way in here. Yeah, that's not ideal. That is definitely not ideal what we're seeing there. So let's just upgrade this last little stretch of road, and let's put some bus lines on there just to see if yeah, there we go. So the trucks will hop over into this lane now, which is what I want them to do. And that'll hopefully mean that they are no longer going to get stuck in traffic, much like, well, all of these guys over here are getting stuck in traffic right now. That's something for future me to worry about though. Regardless, we are hopefully going to see a good number of these guys come through here and pick up those berries. We are hopefully going to see this thing level up at some point. It doesn't really need much to level up, so if we could get that to happen, that'll improve things down at the farm. And then this guy, I mean, it's kind of transport that's going to hold this thing back a little bit, I think. Although that maybe this line could do with double the number of vehicles just to make my life a little bit easier. Although in doing that, we are sending more vehicles down through Huntsville, Although it looks like the only place they're getting stuck is back here as they try to approach this whole intersection, which still isn't good. Still not a huge fan of that. I don't love that the vehicles are getting stuck around there. I probably should have, or could have swapped out this intersection here for something like a clover leaf so that we can run vehicles directly onto the highway and directly into Oklahoma City. Or I could probably swap this road out for something that kind of cuts straight through and connects up here, so it's almost like a bypass around Huntsville. That might actually be the sensible option here, is to tear out that road right there, bring this right back a little bit, and then we just go ahead and punch a big old new road straight through here. We are going to continue straight over this guy, and we are going to go just a little bit further to right about there. And then what I'd like to do is put a little cut into the road here. And that's basically going to be what we connect together. So this can come down a little bit further as well to about that spot. We'll get our curve tool, run it around like that. Yes, we have this sort of connection here, which I don't love, but that's not really the end of the world. This guy right here is going to run straight into this road right here. And that'll probably work. I'm going to take out some of these little connections though, just to make them a little bit neater and get those slopes to be a little bit more gradual. But I am very much kind of a fan of what we've got going on here. This will hopefully take some of that traffic, although right now it doesn't look like it wants to, which kind of makes sense because I've given it the waypoints on the highway. But I think we're going to have to change that. We're going to have to send this traffic sort of around Huntsville. And I think the way I'm going to make sure that happens is more bus lanes, because they are really kind of saving. They're very much saving me when it comes to how bad the traffic is. So we'll see how it goes. Traffic going in here is, that's not much better, actually. That's, I might need to upgrade this entire thing to have more lanes. I don't like doing this. This feels like cheating. I'm not gonna lie. This does feel like cheating because I'm giving lanes exclusively to my trucks, and that doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but I'm going to do it because the game lets me. Now let's smooth this out just a little bit and let's see what we're dealing with. So you are the food to Huntsville line. Your food to Huntsville, your food to Huntsville as well. Where is, that's the Huntsville, wait, oh yeah, different lines. Where's my Oklahoma one? So food to Oklahoma is currently going that way. If I was to go and take out that waypoint on the highway, it does go down here. And if I take out that waypoint, it does go back on that road. So that is more or less doing what I'd like it to do. It is, well, it's not really going to encounter that much traffic around here. It will at this road, which again might require a bit of a, it might require a little bit of work. We don't have any, we do have some bus lines now. Here I go again with the bus lanes. It does feel like cheating. It really does. But it really is kind of my only immediate way of solving these traffic problems. So it's what I'm going to do. So that now gives those trucks access the whole way through. You know what? It'll be fine. It'll be fine. This road down here, I think, is the one it'll turn off onto. Yeah. So it's not as busy around there. It'll be fine. That should hopefully make a bit more sense. That'll hopefully be a little bit better. And that'll hopefully take some of this traffic away from this road here. Although I'm thinking about that road and thinking that maybe it should also have just a few more lanes. Maybe, I don't know, right back to about there. Should do the job. That gives us a dedicated right-hand and left-hand turn. And hopefully that just works. Hopefully that lets the traffic get around Huntsville that little bit easier without having to go right through the middle. Again, it's going to be a case of giving it time, but I mean, we gave things time and this is now working. We gave things time and this guy over yonder is doing really well. In fact, this thing's going for another level up, which is kind of wild. I was not expecting that. The silver mill down in High Point actually isn't all that far off of leveling up either, which is beautiful news. And then the mine all the way down here it's leveled up as well. So production is now up to 1200. Our shipment here is 407. Oh, I didn't rename this line, did I? I probably want to rename you to just silver to bars. is what you are. So your rate, really, it's 407? Is that it? Did I? Okay. That's not quite where I wanted it to be. I'm not gonna lie. That's definitely not where I was expecting it to be. So if this is producing that, I mean, the shipment is going up. I imagine this thing will sort of crank out more stuff as we go, right? At least that's what I'm hoping for. This guy, production's already where it needs to be. Shipment will increase over time. Transport will increase over time. Do I want to just get more trains on this line, or just bigger trains? I probably want bigger trains, right? Because we have one already waiting here, which means there's probably another one. Oh yeah, it's just pulled in up here, hasn't it? Yeah. So I want to say bigger trains are probably what I'm looking for, especially given the size of this station here. I think we could probably get away with it. So I was going to wrap things up very quickly, but I think what I would like to do is I'd like to bulldoze this little section of track right up to about there. And I want to see if I can be so cheeky as to get myself some more cargo platforms in here. I'm not 100% sure that I can, but I am definitely going to try my best to bring some cargo platforms. I guess that's about as far as I can go. Can I get them over here? No, that depot is in the way. That's really unfortunate. So the depot is going to have to go, basically, is what we're learning here today. This thing can go away. We will take that all right back. And then we'll come in here. We'll get ourselves another couple of cargo platforms just like so. We will reconnect everything because obviously that's kind of a big deal, making sure it's all, you know, nicely connected. And if that's about as far as we can go with the platform, I guess we'll put the depot back in here. And I'd like it to be nice and close to the station. I'd like to lower it down a little bit too, just because that's what I'm thinking it should be. It should be a little bit lower. Let's just try and get it to be nice and level with the station though. I'm not 100% sure when that's going to be. Looks like, let's say there. Is that level? That's actually not too far off. I'm okay with that. Let's just get the track coming out of there now, and that'll be our connection for any new trains that we need. In fact, can I just do this? I don't mind that. I don't like that it elevates though. I kind of want this to stay nice and flat. So maybe a little bit of terrain flattening here just to tidy this up a little bit. And then maybe we do the same thing down here. We'll just kind of flatten the terrain out even further until we get something just nice and level. That makes sense to me. So bring this guy out. We'll just keep going in a nice straight line for a little bit up to, let's say, about there. And then we'll just cut across right about there. We'll get ourselves a signal so the new trains don't block the existing ones. We'll smooth this out, and that should mean that now what I can do, given the size of this platform, is go and change up all of these trains, which I'm kind of excited about. So we'll manage them. We want to, oh boy, I got a lot to go through here. Cargo, we want to do the gondola, and I guess, I don't know how long this platform, can I see how long this platform is? Is that something we can do? If I click on new terminals, charts, it's not going to tell me, is it? I really probably should have tried to measure this out a little bit, but unfortunately that's not going to be the case. Okay. In that case, we're going to improvise. We're going to go to U, and I'm going to say we've got what, 261. Let's add like 100 meters to this. So 363 modify. How long are we looking for that train now before it is, before the back end of it's actually moving? Oh, it can be a lot longer. Okay. Okay, modify you again. It is mediocre right now, so add 2 more of these and add another locomotive. So that's another 16 million, but that should now be a really decently long train, I think, which isn't moving. Why are you not moving? Can you move? I would appreciate it. I definitely would appreciate you moving. Okay, so how did this happen? Why are you, no. You can turn around and get out of there because you've managed to come in and kind of mess up my train here, which I don't really appreciate. This train, by the way, looks like it could be even longer than it currently is. I'm not going to make it any longer than it currently is, but It definitely looks that way, which is not a bad thing at all. Let's get it painted up in this color. And what we'll do is get rid of the other two trains. We will duplicate this one, and then we're going to duplicate it again, so that we have 4 trains in that line now, which is a rate of 2527. You know, I'm going to say that's a little bit higher than it needs to be. It's more than double what it needs to be. So if I get rid of maybe one of you, that gives us 1895. If I get rid of you, that gives us 126. Okay, yeah. Wasn't really expecting to need just the 2 trains, but sure. Assuming that's the rate that it's actually going to stick with, sure. Oh, and get a load of this. This guy is upgrading as well, which means that our coffee bean production is only going to get better. It means that our food production is only going to get better, and it's already pretty good. It's already doing quite well for itself. There's more food going to Oklahoma than we can currently shift, so we're going to want to do something about that a little bit sooner than later. Huntsville getting a little bit of food as well is lovely to see. Oklahoma's aiming for what now? 5,400? I can't remember if that's higher or lower than it was before, but regardless, it is getting a bit of everything that it wants, which is very exciting. Montgomery getting a little bit of, well, not everything that it wants, which is unfortunate. Montgomery's actually suffering a little bit right now, but we'll absolutely get there, is what we'll do. How are we looking here? We actually have excess. That's surprising. We have excess silver and not excess steel. This guy's probably producing about as much as it possibly can, huh? So consumers wise, yeah, this is probably producing about as much as it possibly can. It's actually a little bit low on iron, which is kind of surprising. We might want to look into that. Let me see. So iron to steel right now is this. This line is coming down from up there. This guy's producing 1200. So we can bring these lines up a little bit, is what I'm thinking we can do. If I go to here and manage vehicles, it's 903 right now. If I get another vehicle and put it in there at 946, that'll be 989. Let me duplicate 2 of them. That'll bring us to 1075, and another duplication is 1161. So that's as close to 1200 as I think we're going to get. This guy, 917, manage vehicles, give me 2 more. That'll bring us to, what, 976, then up to 1035, and then up to let's do it again, 1154. So again, a little bit closer per year. That is, again, kind of what we're looking for, is that extra little bit of something, which is great. And so I guess that'll hopefully help things out. Although I'm also looking at this and thinking that it might not be a bad idea to extend this depot just a little bit. I'm pretty sure 5 minutes ago I said there's going to be one last thing I want to do before we wrap things up. That's kind of becoming a really bad omen for me, because every time I say there's one last thing I want to do, then we're going to wrap things up, I usually spend another 20 minutes doing about 6 other things, and I really need to stop doing that. But what I'd like to do here is just give a little bit more road access to this thing and bring some road access down this way. So basically straight through that hill is my thinking. Can I lower that down into a tunnel? Yeah. I think a tunnel's the right call. Although I'm almost wondering if I should go off of like here. So something kind of there. And then bring this guy out just a little bit further. And what if I was to try and connect those together with a nice big curve? What would that look like? It would look like that. And if I lower it down, it is a pretty good tunnel, honestly. If I lower it any further, it is, I don't mind that actually. I think this side's okay. I think this side has a bit of a weird hill to it, but honestly, that's all right. We can make that work. We could probably just put a little bit of road in here and then take out most of this part. So take all of you away. Let me do, let's see, if I just do a little tiny section of road right here, I really don't want it to curve all nasty like though. So if I do this, it's still gonna have that it's still going to have that incline. So you know what? That's okay. Not really too worried about it. I'll take this part out as well, just to smooth it out, because apparently I care about these kind of things. And so now, do we have trucks going that way? We do not. That's kind of surprising. I guess this is probably a quicker route than going through the tunnel. That's genuinely kind of surprising, actually. I wasn't expecting that. It makes sense, but I wasn't expecting it. Okay, so now we have these trucks heading out here, mostly because I added some waypoints and ever so slightly adjusted the tunnel, but that should mean that we don't have the overlap with the steel trucks on this side, and it should just make this ever so slightly more efficient, which is what we're hoping for, although it seems like the rate has gone way down on the coal line, which is worrying, and also down on the iron line as well. I don't love that. Hopefully that picks up. It might just be because I've messed things around a little bit. I'm not really too sure what's going on there, but we'll see what happens with those numbers over time, as is usually the case. Also a tremendous amount of slag just sitting around, which I don't love. I think, no, I did. I adjusted this line up here, this sand one, because originally it was coming down through the city. I sort of sent it around this way, which I was hoping would improve things, but it's just a massive amount. Oh wait, it's because this thing's producing so much. That's why. Okay, that makes sense. Also got some new trucks apparently. Lovely. Don't mind if I do. I don't think I'm going to use any of them, but that's still kind of cool. This guy is, what are you doing? So you're heading down through the middle of town. You shouldn't really be getting stuck in any traffic because you're using bus lanes the entire way. So we might just want more vehicles in that line as well. For now, I'm going to leave it be. This guy is hopefully going to improve. These guys are hopefully going to improve. I think somehow I get the feeling I've made this worse, to be totally honest with you, but we'll worry about that a little bit later on. This guy is, I think, getting worse as well. I think the steel production's falling apart here. Yeah. Steel production's definitely not as strong as it once was. I also wonder if maybe part of that's because the new trucks that I brought in for this whole thing are maybe stuck in traffic somewhere, like you. What are you doing? No, you're not stuck anywhere. Wait, what are you? Oh, I know what I've done. Slag to bricks to delivery. I don't know when I did this. And if I did it on, if I did this and talked about, oh, I'm going to upgrade these trucks. I wonder why they're not delivering bricks. It's because they're tipper trucks. They can't deliver bricks. So that'll be why part of this is falling apart, because there's no, replace them with box trucks. And now they can move everything. Now they can move bricks as well. That makes a lot of sense. That would be why we're seeing some issues potentially with shipment, because we're not completing the lines. Okay. Really wish I'd kind of caught that a bit sooner, but you know what? It's all right. Also looks like we got the new trucks coming in here, which is exciting. Let me swap out the colors in some of these vehicles though. So this is the iron line. Let me make you guys that color. In fact, let's go for something slightly more orange that kind of matches the iron a little bit better. So I think that kind of matches the iron a little bit better. And then you, I'm assuming, are on the coal line. Let's manage the vehicles and swap those out for something like this, so that we can kind of clearly see which vehicle belongs to which production. In saying that, they obviously come in with coal and iron, but that's, you know what? I like colors, okay? I like the different pretty colors. I've also realized that with the lower steel production, I had these guys who are the Montgomery Steel to Goods production line. I had them set up to wait forever for a full load of steel, which is why we have a bunch of trucks now stuck in traffic here, because these guys were not moving. So let me just make sure that you are not set to do the same thing, which you are not, which is absolutely fantastic. So that'll let these guys in to pick up the slag and do their thing. These trucks will now wait for a maximum of 30 seconds, which I am okay with. And then over this way, these numbers, these rates are still not really where I'd like them to be, but I think it'll figure itself out once we start bringing more stuff down and around here. This guy is better not go down a level. It really better not go down a level. I'm going to be really annoyed if it does. I'm not at all going to be happy about that. Let me get 2 more trucks in this Montgomery delivery line right about there. That didn't bring the rate up as much as I was expecting. We've got the Oklahoma one. We'll do 2 more trucks on that line as well, which will bring the rate up to 186. Hold on, was the Montgomery line a lower rate? Yeah, it's 70. Is that because it gets stuck in traffic? That might be. Oh yeah. Oh boy, it gets stuck in traffic along there. That's, I'm gonna have to upgrade that road as well. That's really unfortunate. That's really unfortunate for anyone that lives on this road, that I'm just gonna have to shuffle their buildings around a little bit, but it is about the only thing I can do to make this work. And annoyingly, I'm gonna have to do something with this road as well. Can I get this to be I can make this a wider road, and I think I'm gonna have to. Same with this one as well. It's gonna have to be a bit of a wider road too. And then do I want to make this one 6 lanes? I don't think it needs it. I think this one just needs bus lanes, honestly. And I think it'll be okay with a few bus lanes through there. And so now we shouldn't be seeing any of my trucks getting stuck in traffic, which is fantastic news for me, and probably not so great news for the people that live in Montgomery. But that's, again, that's for them to worry about and me to not worry about, because I get a profit every time I have the trucks go by. In fact, we're now above $4 billion, which is kind of wild. Let's have a very quick look at our line statistics, and then let's actually leave it there for today. So if we sort by balance, we have Miami machines to High Point doing 36 million. Let me slow things down a little bit so this doesn't update too quickly. We have High Point planks to Miami machines doing 27 million, which is kind of amazing, actually, all things considered. That's pretty cool that the Miami production is doing really well for us still. I love that. We've got Lexington oil sand to oil and sand doing 27 million. Tampa fuel production to Kansas, wasn't expecting that one either, is doing a lot. That's the line way at the other end of the map, actually. Oklahoma Steel doing a number for us. Miami to Kansas as an airline, relatively profitable. Wasn't expecting that to be up there, but absolutely not complaining about it. Des Moines oil sand to fuel and sand doing 10 million. And then on the flip side, Salem to Montgomery passenger line is losing 27 million. Salem to Kansas airline is losing 17 million. Manchester, we should probably at some point go through, and any line that's losing over $1 million, we should fix. I should make that, I don't want to say I'm going to make that a single episode, because I feel like that would take a while. But I might make it a string of episodes at some point where we go through and try to figure out, why is Salem to Montgomery losing 21 million? I mean, reasonably, it's probably because it has a capacity of 936 and right now has passengers, 230, right? The rate is 1,123, frequency is 101 seconds, but we're not moving that many people. The problem is that when we didn't have a huge number of trains in that line, we did see a lot of people getting, stuck in the stations, but I guess we'll go and just I'll just go and get rid of 2 of them for now and see what that does. The rate comes way down, but I guess the expenses come way down as well, which is what we're looking for. Salem to Kansas, 130 people on board, capacity of 300. Let's get rid of 2 of the planes, I guess. It's really not that popular, so we'll get rid of 2 of them, try and save a little bit of money there. Capacity is 180, which is still above what we saw there. And then the rest of them, really, I'm not going to touch. I don't think there's any point. I think we can kind of look at the rest of it a little bit later on, is what we can do. Because again, I think that's a whole series of episodes in and of itself. That's a whole thing that we got to manage and figure out. So that's definitely a future thing for me to figure out. It also looks like these guys have brought their rates back up, 1090 and 1101, which means production in here should increase again, which is perfect. Down this way, we should see things increasing as well, which is going to be perfect. And so I think with that, we can absolutely go ahead and leave it there for today. I think we've done a pretty cool thing. We got food production heading out. Food to Oklahoma is going wild. We've got this guy hopefully going to level up again at some point, which would be beautiful. And this guy down here is not that far off leveling up either, which means, you know, 1,200 coffee berries getting ready to head out all the time. That'll be a beautiful thing. What are you guys all doing? Oh, that's Salem fuel. Wait, Salem fuel delivery is running empty a lot of the time. You know what? No. We are going to go ahead and leave it there for today. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. It has been an absolute pleasure as always. And as always, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.